Om Shanti. So today Baba is giving us this beautiful Shrimad that you consider yourself to be a guest. And have you been a guest somewhere very long? How many have been a guest somewhere for a long time? Maybe a month or 2 months or a year. Have you been? No. But if you've been a guest, you know that you're quite well behaved as a guest. Yes, and when you are in a setting where you have this sense of I and mine, then you tend to lose, that capacity to discern and decide well, because your intellect gets shrouded. And I sometimes observe, when the Masi or the Bua visits home, and the brothers or sisters' place, they come. And then when they are there, the way they treat their children is very different from how they treat their children, their own children. And then the children of their sister or their brother is throwing tantrums, and they say, he's just a child, you must understand, he's such a little child, and why are you scolding him, or why are you beating him? And then that other person ends up saying, why don't you take him with you if he's so sweet? And you don't know what he's putting me through. And all of these things happen because when you are a guest, you are so much in touch with reality. And when you are caught up in this sense of this is mine, when you are attached, you are in ownership, then it makes you lose your capacity to discern and decide well. And Baba says that, and I often wonder, when Baba comes, he also comes and enters Brahma Baba's body. And he also plays his part. But he always uses this word, I take this body on loan, and this is his body, and I'm a guest here, and I belong there. And sometimes it makes me wonder, is that not true for us also? Because this body is also temporary, and then my home is also in the soul world. But then we don't remain aware of that, and we get caught up in this feeling that I have ownership over whatever is here. And the fact is, you are just a guest, very temporary. You don't even know when you have to leave. And when it's time to leave, you don't have ownership about anything. You have to leave everything and go. But if you keep that in your awareness right now, then you will be able to use the time and the opportunities and the situations that are here to create sanskars that you can take with you. Yes, and sometimes when you are on a visit somewhere and there is an opportunity to learn or to, develop a skill or something, you don't get caught up in whether these people will mind or whether, this is temporary and I have to be on my own after some time. So I have to do what's best for me. So Baba says, understand that you are a guest here, And while you're here, make the most of it. Follow Srimad completely. Don't mind those who are temporary. Don't mind that which is temporary. And just focus on using this time, using these opportunities well, so that when it's time to leave, you have developed yourself enough, you have filled yourself enough to be able to be on your own and be peaceful, happy, full of virtues when you leave. So today, several times during the day, just remind yourself you're a guest. Yes, you're a guest. And when you are a guest, ask yourself how you would like to behave when you're free from attachment, when you know that everything here is temporary and not yours. Then in your right mind, when your buddhi is functioning well, what are the decisions you would like to make about your time, your thought, your money, so that you create karma which you can take with you to that world which is permanent. For 21 births, you can have guaranteed peace and happiness. Only if you understand you are a guest and don't mess up your time and thought right now. So this is something that Baba tells today. And today in the Murli, Baba talks about faith. And usually when this question of faith comes up, we talk about 4 kinds of faith. Faith in the self, faith in Baba, faith in drama, and faith in the family. But today, Baba is talking about something else when he's talking about faith. And he's talking about when I have faith in Baba, then I have faith in whatever he's telling me. So when you know that the Murli is the mind of God and God is truth, then you have faith in everything that the Murli is telling you. You have faith in every truth that Baba is telling you. Baba is telling you about the destruction that's coming. Baba is telling you about the fact that it's time to go. Baba is telling you that it's time that we start preparing for the time that is coming, the golden age that is coming. And if I have faith in Baba, I have faith in all that Baba is saying. And if I have faith in all that Baba is saying, then how I am behaving will be very different. I just conducted a few days back, there was a manthan about what you believe determines how you behave. So if you really believe that there is an ensuing destruction and I'm supposed to leave the body, and then I have to go home, and then I have to come back to a world where there is no place for vices, then you would be very interested in cleaning yourself of all the body consciousness that you've created for 63 births and imbibing the virtues of purity, of being soul conscious. All of these will be reflected in your actions. And if you are not doing all of that, then it simply and plainly means that you don't have faith in what Baba is saying. You're listening to the fact that Baba says that there is going to be destruction and we are leaving the body and everything material outside, and you're going to go, and when you're going to go, it's important that you have developed sanskars of bodilessness. Because if you have not developed sanskars of being bodiless, then you will feel the pain of being pulled out of the body because you are attached to the body, and it will be very painful. And then when you have to go, you have to develop the sanskars of purity, because you're going to a world where there are no vices, there is no lust, there is no anger, there is no body consciousness. You don't have the tendency to get caught up in name and form there. And what is this tendency to get caught up in name and form? So, when you see someone's form, it affects you. So, whether someone has a male form or a female form, the form of the body, how they look, how they dress, what gender they have, what height they have, what skin color they have, all of that has an effect on you, does it not? We get caught up in form, and then we get caught up in name. And the name itself, the name that we have, gives us an idea about the religion they practice, the caste that is. And then the name doesn't only limit itself to the physical name. Then there are labels that every soul has right now. And you say, this is engineer, this is a doctor, this is a jurist. Or you say that this is my husband or my wife, or this is my child. All these are names, nothing else. And names that are far away from the truth, because they are just a soul. And then how much do you get caught up in a name and a form? And why do you get caught up in the name and form? And why do the way you think and the way you behave with that person, or how emotional or how practical or how logical or how spiritual you are, is determined by what name and form they have? Because you are very caught up in your name and form. And the fact is, we perceive as we are. We perceive as we are. So if you have a lot of superiority or inferiority complex about the way you look, the way you appear in the mirror, then you will be very interested in how other people look. And if you're free from that, I'm a soul and I look like a point of light. And the look of the cover doesn't matter. If you have practiced that, then you don't mind how the other person looks. You don't even mind whether they are in a male body or a female body. Because you can look through that, because you can look through your body. And if you can't do that, you can't do the other one. If you're not worked through your names, all the labels, all the titles that you carry, and you've not come to the place where I'm a soul, and my only religion is peace, purity, love. So it doesn't matter who I am with, I behave according to who I am, not according to what name they hold or what name I am in connection to them at that point of time. So when you have developed these qualities of going beyond name and form, then in Satyug you will be in a position to be in a family, to play the roles of a king or there are no advisors, so it could be a king, it could be a praja, it could be anybody. But then you won't get caught up in your name and form, and you won't get caught up in their name and form. You will be the same. You will be the pure self, the virtuous self, to your spouse, to your child, and to any member of that whole kingdom. But all that has to be practiced here. And Baba is pointing out today that how much of that you practice depends on how much faith you have. Because if you don't have the faith that this Kali Yuga is ending, the faith that I have to go home, the faith that I have to go to that world of heaven where there is no body consciousness, then you don't practice. And if you have that faith, it will reflect in the practices you are doing. Yes. So Baba today says, first of all, let your intellect have firm faith. You have died alive. Died alive means when you know you are a soul, you have firm faith in that. Then just like when you die, suppose I leave the body today. Yes? Then all that I say is I and mine ceases to exist. Yes, my brother is not my brother anymore, my mother is not my mother anymore, because I have died, right? When you're dead, you can't come and claim. Can the soul come and claim, I was in this position, give me the salary? Don't have right over any label that you used to have. Don't have right over any relationship that you used to have. So Baba says, when you know you are a soul and you know that it's time to prepare to go back, and you have faith in it. The main thing is faith. We all know, but do we have faith? And I always remember this thing. There was this very senior brother in the Yagya, Ramesh Vaisa, and he used to always tell in the class, we listen about destruction, we are taught about destruction, but we don't have faith there is going to be destruction. And that was 10 years back. But in the last 2 years, I think we have had quite a glimpse of how possible destruction is. And how convenient it is. And Baba in the Murli today says that you have seen how one spark goes off and a whole building becomes ashes. And you know how a tiny virus can take so many lives. And you know that the kind of vicious creators we have become, all our creation is vicious. Whether we are creating that directly or indirectly. So there is some creation that we are doing directly. We are creating machines to kill. We are creating bombs to kill. Are we not? Bombs and material for destruction is consciously created. And why do we create all that? Because we are vicious. And we always create it for the other. You think that you will use it against the other. But since we are children in India, we are told, तुम दूसरे के लिए गड्ढा खोदोगे तो तुम गिरोगे. You dig a you dig a hole for somebody else, you fall in it. And everyone is doing that. And we are going to end up falling into the pits that we have created. And Baba says this is one creation that we are doing very consciously. And then there is another creation which we are doing unconsciously, which is by creating an atmosphere of, tamo pradhanta, of viciousness. And the virus is a product of that. If you create an atmosphere of lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed, if we are all creating a collective consciousness which is very low, then obviously nature is going to get affected and hostile because of that. And Baba says the quality of the creator is directly, has an influence on the quality of the creation. And you're looking at what the creator is becoming, what is the quality of every soul. And you're also looking at how much resistance there is to change. Nobody wants to change. How long have you been in the class now? Yes? Some are here, some have been here for 4 months, some have been here for 1 year, some have been here for one month. But ask yourself, have you started using your body, mind, and wealth in a pure way? Yes? You have to ask yourself, and if this is how we children of Baba who are being taught every day are responding, who understand, who get it are responding, think about what is the quality of other souls outside who are not even getting the teaching. And then who is going to stop this quality of creation from going downhill? It is definitely going downhill because we are not doing anything about it. And we cannot do anything about it. It is now out of control. Now, one thing that is left to do is at least take care of yourself. At least use your time, energy, thought, wealth, everything to create good karma, create the sanskars that can take you forward. Because we are not in a position to change the world anymore. We are only in a position to change ourselves now. And let's ask ourselves whether we are doing that. And Baba says, you have to have faith that whatever I'm saying is coming. And when you have faith in that, you prepare. Forewarned is forearmed. If you have listened to the warning, you have to prepare yourself. If you're forewarned, you have to be forearmed. And Baba says today that, first of all, let your intellect have firm faith. You have died alive. And just don't worry about things that are going to get over with. So the body, the relationships, the customs, the traditions, the belief systems that are going to change, don't worry about them. Just behave like you are already dead to them. The anchor has been raised from here. So Baba usually gives this example of a person sitting in a boat and working the oar very fast. And all night he keeps striking the oar, but in the morning, what he sees is he's not moved an inch because he didn't raise the anchor before starting to work the oar. And Baba says that you don't do that. If you have not raised your anchor from the old world, Even if you keep striking the oar, that is, you're getting up at 4, you are meditating, you're doing everything, but you're not doing it to move forward because you have not raised the anchor. So just know that these things don't matter. What matters is what you're going to take with you. And invest everything you have in creating that which you want to take with you. So Baba says, Baba says that the anchor has been raised from here. You have left the iron-aged vicious shore. We are now going on a pilgrimage, and after you leave the shore, you start the pilgrimage. If you're still on the shore, tied to the shore, you might think you are on the pilgrimage of remembrance, but you're not, because that remembrance is not remembrance. That is prayer. Prayer that you want to continue, that you want everything here to be okay, and that's not happening. So Baba says, then you start your pilgrimage. We are becoming bodiless and returning home. And then you invest all your time, energy, wealth, thought in creating this stage of bodilessness. And what is bodilessness? So when you sit quietly, you see yourself as a soul separate from the body. And when you're interacting with others, when you're doing work, you have conscious awareness that you are using your body. I, the soul, am using this body to do work. I am this soul, am using this body to interact. And then in this awareness, you take care that during interaction, during work, you don't get attached and you don't interact in a way, you don't work in a way, you don't use your time, energy, wealth in a way that creates a karmic account. Because you're very self-aware. You know that once you use your time, energy, wealth with vicious souls, and when you invest and attach with vicious souls, then it's not going to make you free from the influence of the body. So Baba says you have to practice bodilessness, and bodilessness is not just sitting and thinking I'm a body, I'm a soul, I'm not a body. No. Even in action, you have to practice being bodiless and coming into action. Have you ever heard Baba talk? So mostly before the class, there is a meditation that's played, and sometimes in that meditation there is a clip from Bab Dada's words, and Bab Dada is talking. So in Gulzar Dadi's body there is Baba and coming and talking, and there is a clip of that. And when you see that, when you hear that, can you hear the silence in the words of the one who has come from the world of silence and is talking? And those words can actually pull you into silence. And some years back, I was a little disturbed. And at that time, I felt like I don't want to hear anything, I just want to sit quietly. I want absolute silence. And at that time, somebody played Bab Dada's voice. And I felt it was more silent than silence. It was more peaceful than silence. And then I realized how talking in bodilessness would be. When you talk in bodilessness, when you walk in bodilessness, when you listen in a bodiless stage, then the way you do it is very different. When you're body conscious and do it, and in bodilessness, it's a very different experience. So Baba says all through the day, practice this stage of staying bodiless. When you're sitting in silence, practice clearly that this is my body and this is me. And I'm just a star and I feel like me. And to feel like me is to feel absolutely pure, absolutely peaceful. And when you come into action also, know who you are. And in that quality of being you, come into action. And that will happen when your anchor is raised from the shore. Because if you're still attached to physical relations, work, your physical identities, then they will suck you in as soon as they come in front of you. And you will not be able to stay in your true form. You will start behaving very body consciously. So Baba says, first know that you are a soul, that you are alive but dead. So become dead while alive, and then raise your anchor from the shore. And then you practice being bodiless all day. And then Baba says, you souls have the knowledge, we will shed these bodies and take others. While living at home with our families, we remain as pure as a lotus and also stay on the pilgrimage. Because while you are here, you are preparing every second to go there, where there is no lust, where there is no anger, where there is no ego. So while living at home, living in the family, always stay in remembrance and keep a good eye on your purity. Keep it in your intellects that this is a graveyard. And when you read the Gita says that God told Arjuna that sab mare pade, everybody here is dead. And this is what Baba is telling you today, that this is a graveyard. And Baba says we are going to the land of happiness. Baba is showing you ways by which he can give you the inheritance. And you better pay attention to that. We stay in yoga in order to become pure. Your sins will be absolved by having remembrance. You souls will then shed your bodies. The pilgrimage is so wonderful. Simply remember the Father and the kingdom. So this is Baba's Srimad today. Have faith in whatever Baba is saying about our past and our future, and practice to be soul conscious and to be in a bodiless stage. Now today Baba also talks about, Baba says, when you children make mistakes, you fall. So nobody can make you fall. Know this one thing. No situation, no behavior, nothing in the drama can make you fall. You will only fall if you make mistakes. And what Maya does is, it makes you make mistakes. Maya cannot do anything to you if it cannot get into your mind. If it cannot, urge you to change your mancharya and dincharya. So if you don't do anything wrong with your time and your thought, then Maya cannot do anything to you. And what Maya does is, it makes you waste your time and your thoughts. And if you take care of yourself, you will never fall. So Baba says, don't think about others, just benefit yourself. Somebody is doing something wrong to you, you think about yourself, not about them, because when you think about them, they become a part of your mind, and that is a mistake. If you continue to think about who you are and how you need to think, then they cannot affect you. Because you cannot be hurt, you cannot be in a loss if you don't make a mistake. And the mistake starts when you start thinking about the other and stop thinking about yourself. Okay? Don't think about anything else at all. Baba says, you just think who you are, how you need to think, how you need to behave. And it's got nothing to do with how the other person is behaving. Become like gold and also show this path to others. And when you become like gold, then others will be inspired to follow you. And there is a very good saying, the only way to change someone is by influence. And to influence someone, you need to be worthy within yourself. So you spend your time and thought in making yourself worthy, and then you will be in a position to inspire others. Influence others to change. There is only one way to become Sato Pradhan, and that is by using your time and thought for Swachintan and remembrance of Baba. And if you do the opposite of that, then you cannot become pure. You cannot go to the land of liberation without becoming pure. Any little bit of happiness you want, whether here or the constant happiness in Satyug, it doesn't come without purity. You allow anyone to mess up with your mind, you lose your purity, happiness is gone. There is just the one way, and then your final thoughts will lead you to your destination. Renounce gossiping, because ears are the windows to the mind. When you gossip, you are opening your mind to waste thoughts. Don't gossip. If there's something you need to know, Baba will tell you. Don't try finding out. All this gossiping starts with this tendency to find out what's going on. You don't try to find out. If there's something you need to know, it will come to you. You don't go finding it out. Baba says, otherwise you only cause yourself a loss. The Father is not cursing you, but when you do not follow Srimad, you curse yourselves, and Baba is warning you. Okay? So pay very good attention to today's Murli. And this Murli is all about making your nature pure and clean. And in the slogan, Baba says When you make your nature pure and clean, then success will be merged in every step. So cleanliness of nature is connected with success also. Om Shanti.